Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Hawkman, issue number 26. This was a fun book, if not the best Hawkman book I've ever read. Make no mistake, though, it's far from the worst. It's just, when you're on a pitch and you have a conclusion that kind of goes, yeah. Still, it ended in a very interesting way. I'm probably, no promises, but I'm probably going to get into a bit of a spoiler at the end of this. I will warn you long in advance before I do that. And even before that, we're going to talk about who made this comic book. So we got writer Rob Venditti, and, well, it says Robert Venditti, but, my bad. Me and Rob, we go way back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember back when we were in the military together. He wasn't actually in the military, apparently. Anyway, let's get back to the review. So, Fernando Passarin on pencils, inks, Auclair Albert and Wade von Graubagger, and Jeremy Cox doing the colors with Rob Lay on letters. Mikel Janin doing the cover, and a variant cover by Sebastian Fimura. I probably killed that name. That dude's going to kick my ass if he ever meets me in real life. Like, you butchered my name! And I'll deserve it. Hawkman, created by Gardner Fox, and I love the green on the side, like showing Gardner Fox! I don't know if they've ever made a book about him, but they should, because the guy has created a lot of characters and he's done a lot more than just comic books. So this issue is called Hawks Eternal, the conclusion, Death of 1,000 Hawks. And we start with the death of one Hawk, the Lord Beyond the Void. See, I talked about this, if not in the previous review, then the previous to that review, that his power, he just told everybody what his strength and therefore what his weakness is. I need to absorb energy in order to be awesome. So he's not really a god per se. I mean, if you're a god, nothing can really mess with you. You don't need something to survive. In that case, you're just you're a conduit more than anything else. So this, he gets beaten in this one. I mean, that should be pretty obvious, right? That's not the spoiler part. I can assure you that. But this guy just, since issue 1, this guy has been coming off as, and what's been leading up to him. It's one of those things where it's like, oh my God, this is going to be epic. And then we get to it, and it's like, Lord Beyond the Void. Holy crap, the first part of this arc, I was like, dude, this really feels like Hawkman's toast. He's about to get his feathers plucked on this, right? And this guy is just really, really weak. The way that he's beaten, I'm not going to tell you how it's beaten, but I am going to tell you a movie where you get to see how he's been beaten, because this just, it almost went word for word with the way that the Ang Lee Hulk movie went. You remember the Ang Lee Hulk? The Hulk was way too freaking big, and the Hulk's father, Bruce's father, was in it, and it wasn't really a great movie, and the ending was just about as booty gets. Literally, you watch this movie and it's like, so there's not actually going to be a fight? There's not going to be a fight. You're actually going to end a Hulk movie without a fight. That seems like a very odd choice. So now, I know I always tell you that Hawkman isn't all about anger and rage and kicking butt and taking names and, all that, but yeah, this is supposed to be his biggest thing where, I mean, if you're going to pull out Hawkman rage, now is the time to do it. Instead of having, I loves me some Shiara, loves me some Hawkwoman, baby, but the idea that Carter's talking about giving up, and she's like, no, you can't. Make no mistake, I could see where my old buddy Rob, okay, Rob and I don't actually go back, all right? I never met the guy, never talked with the guy, all right? He gave me some advice on watering my tomatoes. That was it. And it was on Twitter. I feel like this is Hawkman, bro. This is where you pull out that rage. This is where you say, I'm an archaeologist. I'm a nice guy. And I try to listen to people, and I do stuff, and I help people. And I have sacrificed not just one life, but thousands of lives to help people. That's what a true hero is, right? I mean, am I wrong on this? When you've got a guy, when you've got a firefighter who will who is willing to sacrifice, or a soldier who's willing to sacrifice his life for the greater good, to save a child, even one little child who may grow up to be the next Mussolini, who knows? But you're like, here's a child, I'm going to do everything I can to try and save this person. And this guy has done that many, many, many times with pretty much every single... I mean, has this guy ever had a deathbed? Has he ever actually died in a bed? I don't remember any stories where he's ever died in a bed, you know? He has sacrificed himself for a greater good, for a cause higher than his own. So many times, and then he just kind of gives up in this, except for Shara saying, "No, you can do it," like the water boy. I was really disappointed to see that. And I mean, we've been reading a very calm Hawkman who, when he gets into fights, he's smiling. Remember Mark Waid doing Daredevil? That was pretty fun because we've never seen that version before. We've never seen this version of Hawkman before, but Hawkman is also known for his rage. You check out Hawkworld. I don't think anybody more than Tim Board on Hawkworld will advocate for Hawkman, and he gets, especially annoyed. He gets a little perturbed when somebody's like, everybody just makes him so he's just some raging, pissed off dude. Like, that's all he is. He's just the Red Lantern guy who's always wanted to, hit somebody in the face with a mace. No, that's not who Hawkman is. But he does get mad, and he does mace to face once in a while. And in this, when you have that Ang Lee Hulk ending, nah, man, this was like, here's the opportunity, and here's the blind sniper. I'm saying it's hard to hear a target at, let's say 1,000 meters away. That's how far I used to have to shoot a moving target in the military, saying like, and you're going to tell me like, you're going to try and shoot it by sound. Nah, this was horrible the way that this ended, man. I'm sorry. Like, I get what he was going for, but I feel like that also was a little bit too... The way that the ending happened, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get into my spoiler in a moment. I'm still not ready for the spoiler. The way that it ended, the way that it ended, okay, was such that we saw that coming a couple issues ago when we learned that he was actually a devil and she was actually an angel. And I mean, not really, but in the in the DC sense, you look at like, here's heaven, here's hell, here's the dream world, here's the death world, here's here's apocalypse over here, and here's New Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these different changes of whatnot, the Chaos Lords and the Lords of Order, right? We see all these opposites. It's almost like the Presence created Hawkgirl and said, go, or Hawkwoman, and go. And it was like Trigon, perhaps, who made Hawkman, And obviously it's just like a little paradigm shift to the side of that. I'm a little... Man, wouldn't that be a hell of a story if we find out it's actually Trigon who created Hawkman, not this Lord of the Void person? Now, that would be a scary effing thing. Like Trigon with his huge wings. Imagine if it's like, you grew feathers on your wings. That's not what you were meant to be. And then, like, the demon comes out and went like Finn Balor level demon from NXT. That's what I'm talking about. Now, anyway, I'm not here to start rewriting comic books. But this ending was just really, like, we saw it a couple issues ago. I'm like, nah, they're not going to just give us this ending, right? No, they did. They straight up just like, oh, here you go. I was really disappointed at that. Now let's get to the actual ending. Here's where the spoilers come in. So if you didn't read this comic book yet, I told you the comic book was good. Now politely piss off, because you're still going to want to get the book, because there is going to be a next issue. Okay, go away. Spoilers. Spoilers starting now. Go away. There is going to be a next issue. The book doesn't end with the conclusion of this story arc. They both died, all right, but they chose to come back, but they can never be reincarnated again. Now, is that a bad thing? No, because I've been mentioning before, go check out my Death Metal 3 review, which just came out this week also. everything's ending, all right? Everything is freaking ending, and they're going to go into G3 or something to that effect. They're going to reboot the DC universe, okay? Or they'll sell everything to Marvel. I don't know. Anyway, really sad for all those layoffs. I hope every single one of those guys land on their feet or get something better because they deserve it. That being said, I also think that the writers should be unionized and be actual employees, not contractors. They are not engineers. There is no top secret information where they're like, we're going to contract you out, but you got to be exclusive. F that. F that. All right? They should be employees and get benefits. Anyway, that's just me. So they go back to Earth to have one last lifetime. If they die in this one, that's it. They can never be reincarnated again. Who cares? Because it'll be a new universe. It's like, death in the new Hickman X-Men universe, where it's like, don't worry, we'll just reincarnate you, even if it is expensive. So this is where they end up. And I am fairly impressed. So next, the Golden Age. Brah! These guys going back to the Justice Society of America. That's my old bud Rob, who I go way back with. This was a good last page ending. This was good. Like, for all the tropey stuff that we saw, that Incredible Hulk had, you want it? Take it all! Oh, it's too much. I can't handle it. Shut up, Nick Nolte. Shut up, Nick Nolte. Because that's what's going to wind up happening. At some point, like, most of us nowadays know Nick Nolte from, like, freaking, what's that saying from The Mandalorian? I have spoken. That guy, right? Quee. Enough of us know Nick Nolte from, like, Teacher way back in the day, and 48 Hours, another 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy, and what do you call it? That Ang Lee Hulk movie where he plays Hulk's father, Banner's father, and it's, it's too much. I can't take it. Like, that the Lord Beyond the Void, if this ever somehow becomes a movie, is going to be played by Nick Nolte. He deserves to be, just so he can be like, this feels familiar. Because it was just so terrible to end the book that way. But to bring us to the Golden Age, now we're talking. I'm cool with this. So take Hawkman and Hawkwoman out of the modern era. Nobody's freaking using them anyway. Just showed up in the Death Metal 3 book, which, whatever, who cares at this point. I'm down for this. I want to say, whatever the remaining stories are that are going to be in this Hawkman book, I am 100% down for reading these. In the Justice Society of America, bang, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, go ahead and like the video and watch an ad. That's the only way your favorite YouTubers get paid. I'm out. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.